in the presence of the realized soul rises through this central channel, which is normally blocked at this point, is not open. And in the presence of a realized soul, the energy rises until it passes through the top of the head. And you can actually feel that happening, and I'm sure many of us will feel that. And it's actually a very pleasant sensation that we feel there is a movement and there is an energy which rises in the presence of Shree Mataji. And she says, of course, this is a completely natural and normal event in our lives. In fact, it's the greatest event. It is like a second birth. It's again coming into the world. She says that it is just like a bird which is born twice, the Dvijaha, which is the highest spiritual being, is the one who is twice born, who is born as a normal human being, and at this moment, when the energy rises and comes out of the top of the head, enters a new sphere of experience. It's difficult, and we know it's difficult because poets and philosophers have tried for thousands of years. It's difficult to describe this, to say exactly what it is. And Shree Mataji says we can't really, or it would be a waste of time, to try to describe to you what is in a dark room. The room is dark, there's no light, and we say if you go in and turn to the left, you will feel something and you will see something, and there is a mountain, and to try to describe it. What we must do is to see it for ourselves. And she says it is like switching a light on. When we feel the energy of the Kundalini rising, and it comes to the highest point, then it is like a light, and our individual awareness is brought into contact with the infinite being and with the highest self. I said earlier, Sahaja means spontaneous, inborn, born with us, and yoga, of course, means union. It also means discipline, as I explained. Sahaja Yoga is spontaneous union of our awareness with the all-pervading power, with the highest self. I won't spend a lot of time talking about this instrument. We're hoping that you will come to the follow-up program, which is to be next Wednesday in the Kensington Town Hall, and the address and the time is in the booklet, which we have put there for you to take away. There's another follow-up program earlier in West London, in Hounslow, if you can't make that Wednesday next week. We hope also you'll be sufficiently interested to come to our courses, which of course are free, to learn all the complexities of the subtle system and to see how you can experience the qualities of the centers and discover a new area of power in yourself so that you become master of your own life. Very quickly, there are three channels within us according to the ancient yoga teaching. The channel on the left side, which is blue here, is the channel of our emotions, of our feelings, and it's the channel through which we are linked with the past. It's also the channel of desire. And on the right side is the channel of action. It's on this side that our thoughts arise, so that we think and act through the right side. We become conscious, and it's the channel which is connected with the future, where we plan and think and get involved in the world. And the central channel is the one which normally we are not aware of and we don't use. In our normal lives, we are in a constant closed circle, moving from desire on the left side to action on the right side, which leaves a memory, a residue on the left side, which promotes new desire, and so it goes on. We're caught in a vicious circle. The way out of that vicious circle is to enter into the central channel, which is the channel of our growth, of our evolution, of our spiritual ascent. And it is the channel of harmony. It's the channel where we experience eternity in the present moment. And it's said of the yogis that they live constantly in eternity because they're in the present moment. They're aware of the past, they're aware of the future, but they live in the present moment, which is quite a hard task unless this channel is opened. Very briefly about the centers, there are 7 subtle centers, main centers. There are many more, but we talk of the main centers now. Here at the base of the spine is the Muladhara chakra in Sanskrit, is the support of the whole subtle system, and the quality of that chakra is innocence. It's our child nature. You can say this is where the eternal child within us is located. And through this yoga, Shree Mataji has said, innocence is never destroyed. We may think it is, but through yoga we come back into our innocence. We become reconnected with the child nature within ourselves. We can become, as a child, that we experience the world with wonder and delight. And there is no greater power than innocence, as we know. And that is the quality of that chakra. The next chakra in creation is this one. It's called the Nabhi, or the Manipura chakra. And it is connected with our seeking first for food and for shelter in the course of our evolution, but later at a higher level the seeking of higher truths. And when this chakra, this center, is enlightened and it begins to clear through our practice of yoga, we can enjoy the positive qualities of that center, which are contentment, satisfaction, feeling of oneness with ourselves, strength within ourselves, feelings of generosity and kindness. And these develop spontaneously. The next chakra in creation is this one here, the yellow one, which is called the Swadhisthana chakra, and that has to do with the beginnings of our consciousness of the highest truths. It's called the center of pure knowledge. And our knowledge of the highest reality begins here, early on in our evolution. Each of these chakras represents a stage in the development of consciousness through time. This is also the center of our creativity, and it's common experience of those practicing Sahaja Yoga that we become more creative, that we enjoy our creativity, that we discover the means of becoming satisfied. Here in this green circle, this is called the Bhavasagara in Sanskrit, is the ocean of becoming, the ocean of being. And this is the reflection in us of the whole cosmos, of the world around us. And it is why, in our everyday experience, if we enter a situation which is worrying, we have butterflies in the stomach. It's in this area. It reflects our daily experience. And it is said that the great masters, the great teachers in human history have come into this area of our subtle being in order to give us dharma, in order to give us knowledge of the law, of morality. And it's an extraordinary teaching of Shree Mataji's that we have complete knowledge of everything within ourselves, that we are our own guru, our own master. We don't actually need someone to tell us anything. Most of us spend our time looking for someone to tell us what to do, to tell us how to do it. We think that law comes from outside, that morality comes from outside. But no, Shree Mataji says it is there within us. Everything is there that we can know within ourselves, and we become our own masters when this area of the Bhavasagara, the void, is enlightened. Just above is the heart center, Anahata it's called in Sanskrit. And this flame here indicates that this is the center of our highest self. It is here that the spirit is located. And in the Indian mythology, in the Indian system, the spirit is shown as Sri Shiva. Shiva is the one, the divine being, who sits on the top of the mountains. He's also the dancer, of course. He's the one who produces life out of his dancing, but he's also the supreme ascetic. He sits on the mountaintop in meditation, and he's always smiling, has the most wonderful smile as he contemplates the whole of life, all the dramas of life, the ups and downs of life. He's smiling. He is the supreme yogi. And it's an image of what we are also. The yogis say a mantra to themselves, which is, I am consciousness, I am reality, I am being, I am bliss. I am the same as Shiva. I am that divine being. I'm eternal. I'm clear. I'm detached. I'm supreme. And that's a poetic way, maybe, of trying to understand what the experience of the yogi is when we feel that we are identical with that highest self, with that supreme being, who is Shiva, who is auspicious. Quality of the right heart is of strength, the masculine qualities, if you like, clarity, certainty. It is here that we feel there is a being within us who gives security, who knows what has to be done, who knows what is law, what is just, what is order, what is discipline, but who is immeasurably kind, gentle. And that is the quality of the right heart. And the quality of the center heart is a deep feeling of security. When this chakra clears, we feel that nothing really can harm us. We are here in our freedom and in our innocence, and we know with complete certainty that we cannot be harmed. And it's true. This is the center called the Vishuddhi, is the center of communication. It's where speech derives, and it's through this center that we link with other human beings. And the quality of this center as it clears is that we become one with ourselves. As Mr. Nobel has expressed it, we become peaceful with ourselves, one with ourselves, peaceful with each other, peaceful with the whole universe. This center is called Agya, is the center of command. This is where we do our thinking, is where we are conscious. And it is also the center through which these two areas, blue and yellow, manifest in Western psychological terms as the ego, which is this yellow, is the product of the right side of our action, of our consciousness, creates the ego. And the product of the left side is, from the past, is our conditioning, the weight of the past, which can have a beneficial effect. It gives us a tradition, a culture, in which we can manifest ourselves. And those manifest at this center. And the effect of the clearing of this center is that we become free, that we realize our complete and total freedom, our freedom to embrace what is good in our traditions, what is good in the past, and our freedom to reject any compulsions in the past to behave in a way which we would not want to behave. We escape in a way from the limitations of our nationality, of our class, of our family, and embrace what is good. It's through this center also that we actually learn to forgive. A lot of the suffering that we endure as human beings comes from desire on the one hand, which is unfulfilled, and on the other hand, from a refusal to forgive. And when this center clears, it's very easy to forgive, because we're in a higher place, so whatever has happened to us, we feel that we've been badly treated, it's very easy to say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all, because we're in a higher place. And that higher place is shown here in the image as a lotus flowering. It's called the 1,000-petaled lotus, the Sahasrara chakra. It is the 1,000-petaled circle of light. And this is an image, a poetic image. But it is an image which we can translate through the gift of Shree Mataji into reality, that we can experience what it is to enter that fifth dimension, you can say, of the Sahasrara chakra. And it's a very pleasant feeling, a feeling of arriving, a feeling of clarity, of deep peace, of oneness with ourselves. The only other thing I need to say, because I have to explain why this hand is with a magnifying glass over it, is in order to show that when the awareness reaches this point, we begin to feel our own chakras on our fingers. We feel them in our body. We feel them as coolness when they are clear. Wonderful cool sensation in the subtle body, in the region of the heart, in the stomach and so on, as they are clear. Now if they are not clear, then we have here a wonderful means of diagnosis for ourselves, another sense which will serve us. And we may feel a pain, a tingling, a heaviness, a denseness in the body or in the fingers, because these fingers, as you can see from the color coding there, correspond to the centers. The thumb corresponds to this Svadhisthana chakra. The middle finger corresponds to the stomach. This is a wonderful discovery of Shree Mataji's, that by studying our fingers and our body, paying attention to what is happening in our subtle body, we can know if we're on the right track or the wrong track. This is incredibly wonderful and useful tool that she has given us. Not only that, when our awareness reaches this high point, we enter collective consciousness. This means that we can know on our fingers and in our body how it is with other people. So we can say of another, you have a problem here in the stomach, in the Nabi chakra, I can help you. And part of Sahaja Yoga consists of our working together to locate where there are blockages, and we can give each other help by directing energy into those centers. This is a very, very brief survey of this subtle instrument, a very brief reference to the qualities of the centers and of the channels, the nadis, that we will slowly get to know when we practice Sahaja Yoga. Beyond that, this simple mechanism that is within us is the whole of the reality of Sahaja Yoga as it is lived by the people who practice it. And it is something which is infinitely huge in its potential. In the end, all human beings should know this reality and will know this reality. And at that point, we'll be able to say that all human beings in the future will actually be Sahaja Yogis, that they will know spontaneously what the highest reality is. They will know themselves as one with the Divine Being. So we do look forward to the time when everyone can say, we are Sahaja Yogis. Thank you.